chat, so I can only rely on what you're telling me, Jim. And that's the laugh of somebody who's a bit sneaky, I think. That was a cheeky little laugh.
Yeah, look, we might go Ocker on the pistol. We might
just
go
one
full
round.
Australian on the pistol. Just give the people what they want at least. Give them a taste of the sausages down under, the snags as we call them.
Oh, God.
That's local cuisine. Local cuisine down here. Snags and sangers for all.
Oh, God. Okay.
Show us your true blue.
I like this from what we saw from Immunity, though, before, because we got to bring some sense of normality back to it before we go full Aussie on them on the pistol round. But, I mean, in particular, some of the individuals, we did single out, I think, the need for players like Emag to bring that consistency to tonight's match, and he certainly did that. Led from the front, right next to, of course, Ricky, who was fragging up a storm all match long, both halves. Emag really stepped up for me. Had a couple of key clutches. Almost the equivalent of Raz in that sense, where they were both finishing and closing out some of those tight rounds. But really happy to see, but can he maintain and can his teammates maintain that across two maps? So far this season, we haven't seen Immunity being able to do that. We've seen glimpses of this form, but we've also seen them also getting a little bit slack and lackadaisical in that sense. So I'll be hoping from a competition perspective and from an Immunity perspective that they can keep up this hot form, and really, as the competition now gets to the business end, they can bring their A game, because we just want to see quality Counter-Strike action. That's what we want. We just want everyone playing at their best potential so that the competition's better, everyone has, I guess, a more enjoyable time and gets to see some quality Counter-Strike action.
That's it. Just give the people what they want. Ultimately, at the end of the day, now we do recognise that there are two members from New Zealand in here. They don't want to be left out. They want to be left by the chili bun.
I don't even know what that means.
I don't think
what does that even mean? I'm struggling with the Aussie slang, so I can only imagine how well the viewers are faring. But I think, it's fair to point them out. We are talking, of course, about Raz and Ofnu from Team Legacy. They are from New Zealand, and I mean, they pointed out recently when they were travelling over to Sweden for the Face It Season 3 LAN finals, I think they had about 50 hours of travel time in total for each of those members to get from New Zealand to Sweden. I think they took about 4 or 5 detours along the way. That was the non-direct manner in which they went about it, or were forced to go about it.
Yeah, I think they went to Singapore and then Dubai as well.
Plus Australia.
Yeah,
so I think it was Sydney. So it might have been New Zealand, Sydney, whatever the next
Auckland,
one is. I'm bad at geography. Which is the closest, Jim?
Auckland, Sydney, Singapore, and Dubai. And then Stockholm, I believe. So.
Oh, I'm surprised you actually changed your accent for the final Stockholm there. If you're Team Legacy though, Jim, do you think the fact that they've just got back from being overseas, they've obviously been boot camping before Face It, they played the Red Dot qualifier online over there, they boot camped for 2 weeks straight, will that benefit them in this instance? Will they have something to, almost memories to channel back where they had to dig deep at previous times?
Well, they did manage to have a miniature comeback there on Virtus Pro, so that's surely fresh in their mind. But the knife round here, whether or not they're going to channel that experience in this knife round remains to be seen. But look, definitely in the context of this entire league, it's experience they're going to be drawing on. As we do see them duke it out here. That's not a knife. This is a knife. In the famous words of Crocodile Dundee, just trades going down left, right and centre, but it looks Legacy just showing us that they are the superior shanking outfit.
I think that's right. I think that's twice tonight we've seen them win the knife round, but we saw what little impact it had in the sense that Team Immunity came out firing on T-side of Inferno, turning around what is normally a CT-sided map in their favour. But Jim, as we go into the pistol round, I'll let you take it away. This is, for all the viewers at home, please bear with us for one round. You may not understand anything which is said, but this is our best Australian Ocker impression.
Best Australian Ocker impression as I go into a Kiwi accent there. But look, the boys from Immunity there just sitting on the T side. They're going to need to conjure up everything potentially in their arsenal, as they're just going to split between the sites. Now they're just going to jump around like a couple of flaming galahs there. If they're not too careful, they're going to get their wings clipped. As now Emag just waiting out Mocha here. He's going to surprise him there with a little bit of an ear ringer, as he does pick up the second there as well. Emag picking up 2 frags.
You little ripper!
You little ripper. True blue Aussie style. Just going straight through there. He's going to go for that 3rd frag, not able to do so. In the meantime, they've just busted onto that A site, ripped right in there, and they're just going to set themselves up with a couple of coldies and the Esky as they wait for this plant to go in. A couple of post plants. They're just going to chill out.
Oh, Christ, mate. You can tell Immunity have had their Vegemite this morning. They've definitely got control of this A side, and fair dinkum, this is theirs to lose. They're down in a 3-on-1 situation, make it a 3-on-0, and oh, go you, good thing, you little ripper.
As James finds the noggin with the 2 remaining members of Legacy. But that's it. We're not going to go for any more. Bloody ripper. Bloody unreal.
Oh, crikey, mate. Never again.
Australians don't say crikey.
But of course, Team Immunity, in all sincerity, did win the pistol round, continuing off on their fine form from Inferno. We are now, of course, onto an anti-hero round, but we saw how volatile they were in the previous map, but not to be so far. Immunity will get the drop on off New and Raz. It is a 5-on-3 situation, and again, cannot apologise more profusely to all the viewers at home that had to listen to that pistol round passed by ourselves. But as it is, Busted, I mean, he does have the scout that he had invested. It was a forced buy in that sense, so he'll be probably looking to save that rifle, but with the aggression that they're showing, Rick here busts out the vent. They're in no mood at the moment to let Legacy save these guns. They're hunting them down. Rick here, speak to the devil, does run up the highway and catch Buster off guard at close range. And they now know the position of Mizu as well, who just has the 5-7 and some armor. He'd be wanting to save that armor possibly if he could, but I don't think Immunity are going to let them. You can see them swarming on his last known position here.
Yeah, they're going to try and tie him down, Kangaroo Sport. He's just sitting in at the door there, the squeaky door. They're not going to get too close too quickly, though. He's only got 10 HP. He's got a 5-7. He's going to try and save that. He does have head armor, which is the most important commodity there. Does get within inches of his opponent, but more importantly, saves that pistol for this round. Team Immunity on the up.
Yeah, they've started off well, haven't they? I mean, they've looked very aggressive even on the anti-eco rounds. That's the difference that we saw from last map, where perhaps a little bit more tentative. This time, again, they're rushing towards the B side, but there's actually 5 CTs lying in wait here, so they're running into a stack, and they've almost not given themselves the opportunity to second guess it, because all 5 are going to commit to this B site, not knowing that there's a few CTs lying in wait, but HE grenades will help to flush them out, as will the Mac 10 of Sniper. He grabs one and a double, looks for the triple, gets the dink, and tries to finish the job with the pistol, but I think James will beat him to the punch there. But Team Immunity, despite the opposition they fought in the B site there, will get that 3rd round, and we now move into the first gun round. So crucially, the question is, who will be AWPing for Legacy? Looks as though Raz is the first to bring it out. Perhaps expecting Buster to turn to that rifle later on in the half if he gets the opportunity. But at the moment, it will be Ricky v Raz there. We'll see how that battle does go down.
It'd be a very interesting matchup there, as they are going to send Emag straight over that boost, catch Buster out almost immediately, and Offnu at the sandbags there, who does fall quite quickly. Now, in the meantime, Mizu is just chilling out, having a good time at the A site as Ustilo puts some smokes on. Now, they do have control of mid, but look at this read from Legacy. They have put 2 members just on that left side of the site there, just hoping to catch some members of Team Immunity off guard. Emag, though, is just going to throw a setup smoke here for his team in the A site and make his way through. Moku has been distracted and will try and pursue this man in mid. Rick Air, though, is just content on holding lines and trying to open up now this A site. They already have the man advantage in this 4v3. Mizu finds a frag quite conveniently for his team, and so does Moku as well. So now, advantage back to, I guess, Team Immunity, but 2v2 will now ensue as Moku does fall at that forklift. Now, a lot of work to do for Raz here. He does have that AWP in tow, but he has to contend with 2 members of Team Immunity. He does know that one of them is sitting around that forklift. Will miss his first shot on him, unfortunately. I don't know if he's going to get a second here, as Rick Air is just going to bide his time. Excuse me. As he does miss that shot. Now, he is going to go in that 1v1 with Raz. James does come up trumps, pick up the AWP there, save it out for Rick Air. But Team Immunity now string their fourth and gun round on the board. Very important.
Yeah, great start to them in the sense that they obviously boosted Emag over the boost there into mid. Got the drop on 2 members, had that man advantage. I was surprised that as we moved into the late round scenario, we actually didn't see them exact more mid presence. I think when they fell back and almost left Emag there alone, there was only ever going to be one solution for Legacy in terms of stacking the site, so it almost proved to be their downfall. But as it was, we do see Legacy. They have fully invested into this round. Raz with a nice little headshot with the scout, but he will lose his life in the end to James. He is stepping up here on Inferno, or on Case, I should say. So worrying signs here for Team Legacy. If all members of Immunity are firing, we will see the exchange of frags go down. Moku, Ustilo, all getting on the action. But as it stands now, Buster, the last sole member of Legacy here, he will back off from the B side. I think off the back of those frags going down at mid, suspects that perhaps an A hit's on the cards here, and he'll quickly rush his way up towards the truck. He does get the tag there onto Sniper. Can he seal the deal? He does, but if we look at the overlay, he's been duped out. It will be the B-side, and Ricky, nice little easy frag onto the stomach of Buster there to seal the deal.
Yeah, well worked from Team Immunity, as they just recognised 3v1. They split themselves between the sites. Sniper went in, martyred himself to check out the A site. Obviously drew the attention of Buster. Ricky, as soon as that was called, simply stepped through and punished him on the flank. Now, Team Immunity obviously have strung together 5 rounds in a row. It's up to Legacy now, who are only on a pistol buy. Buster gets, again, eliminated quite early, trying to be aggressive in mid. Team Immunity doing a deal of damage there to his, not just his confidence, but also his economy as well, as they are going to continue this mid control unrelentingly.
You can see Legacy here trying to bring the battle to them. They are now collapsing on mid with nearly 3 members there, but the outcome's the same in the sense that they're losing their heads one by one. Yusilo there from close range does drop him down. James, almost suspicious of another member there in CT Con, will spam away and do a lot of damage onto Ofnu. Enough for Yusilo to almost finish the job without even spotting him, but as it is, it's certainly going Immunity's way. Moku there does exact a little bit of revenge onto Yusilo, but James does spot him out and does grab one, should get the second, and does get the second there from up in heaven. But I've been really impressed to start this second map with the way in which Immunity are getting the trade frags. Even when they're getting caught off guard, there's almost always someone in tow there to quickly get that frag back onto them and almost square the ledger again. That's a really worrying sign for Legacy at the moment.
It is a really worrying sign for Legacy. This is their second gun round. They're going to need to be a little bit more clinical, though, on this CT side. When we spoke to them, they did say their CT side was a little bit worrying here, and it is certainly showing against a strong opponent like Immunity. As Raz picks up that first frag there, will flash himself out and make that escape into the B site. In the meantime, Sniper's just going to sit on the lurk here in that squeaky door and make a menace of himself. Now, Emag is continuing to try and apply some pressure towards this B site. Sniper, in the meantime, has revealed his hand and will try and make something work out of this squeaky door. He's doing a great job of selling a convincing fake here. He does get out, contend with Ofnu, though, and Ofnu just happy to clean him up quite quickly there, quite easily. James has actually made his way out towards the little pole there near the forklift, and if he's not careful, Moku will find himself on the receiving end. Great flash there as he does recognise James in close presence, and now Emag and Ricky are going to combine for this B site. Great work from Raz there, getting the initial pick and showing that he can contend with the strong AWP of Ricky with some magic of his own.
Yeah, great work locking down the site, but also great work in terms of Legacy's ability to stop that A fake in its tracks. You could see that Sniper and James, something a lot of teams don't do, especially in the lower grades of our Australian scene, is that when they fake, they don't normally commit to the site, which is normally a dead giveaway that it is a fake. But Sniper and James put a lot of pressure there onto the A side. Legacy up to the challenge, though. Great flashes. Of course, Immunity, they can afford to buy this round, so they've got 5 rifles. Ricky will have to go without an AWP in this case, but look how quickly they're moving onto the A site, changing up the pace here, and they've caught Mizu and Buster off guard here. Raz trying to put up some form of resistance now. He's only got 1 frag, but he's also dropped the bomb out in the open there, so I am going to have to use some sort of utility grenades to obscure his vision to allow them to recover that. Or maybe they'll just keep shooting them in the face there. James does drop off now, and Raz does go down, and what looked to be a glimmer of hope as they did drop the bomb out in the open quickly turned to, I guess, desperation and sorrow as the round quickly came away into Immunity's favour.
Yeah, I thought that was the chance Legacy needed to get back into this match, but that door has quickly been shut by Team Immunity, changing the pace, changing the tempo, catching them completely off guard at that A site. They did have 4 members there at one stage, and just not able to really deal with it as well as they would have liked. Now, in the meantime, Team Immunity again have just changed the tempo again, put early pressure on that B site, as Moku does pick up a first frag. Unfortunate not to get a second there onto Ricky, as Yustilo finds another frag across the map. They do have control of this B site now, and are going to attempt to delay this rotation. Now, Yustilo's in a great position there in the mid, does find the frag, and more importantly, stem that rotation. The Sniper makes his way out the door, not able to convert the frag onto Mizu there. It is an acquired skill to be able to shoot someone in the back. Unfortunately, not able to do the deed there, but Mizu again is going to try and save that gun. Ricky just seeking his head out.
The biggest thing that stands out for me at the moment is how in control are Team Immunity when it comes to the pace of the game. Legacy are just holding back and, I guess, putting up a defense when asked to, but Immunity are mixing up fast-paced rounds with slow-paced rounds and seemingly playing how they'd like to. You can see sometimes teams try and, I guess, prevent terrorist teams doing that by becoming the aggressor on the CT side. Well, that's not the case so far in Immunity, just having their way. Again, Ustilo very quickly over the boost there, and Buster not even looking that way, as I guess he was in his own little firefight through the smoke there, but that's the pace at which we're talking about. Ustilo's now almost found his way into CT spawn, so he's quickly going to be coming up behind them if they don't have their wits about them. Look at this, he's charged into the A site. None of them are going to be expecting him coming from that way, and he's just fragging them left, right, and center. It's too easy for Ustilo. He has got what looks to be a fourth for the round, and is a fourth for the round there as Ofnu falls, but Ustilo didn't let go of his W tier the entire round there, and why would you when it's that easy for you?
He had an absolute bloodlust there once he recognised that he had great position. Team Legacy were also on eco as well. Perfect opportunity for him to go absolutely ham. Now,
Well, that's right. I think Immunity really are showing why they were the competition favourites at the moment. Whilst they haven't been playing their best Counter-Strike up until now, when they need to and when asked to, and when they have to, showing that they can. They've put up 9 rounds already, 9 of the first 10 here on Case, of course winning the first map of DE Inferno. They have busted very quickly out mid there. They've got one member trapped at pipes, but Moku and I think one of his teammates there in the form of Buster are recognising that threat and trying to put it to an end, but James has his say, drops Buster there in mid. Can he get the second frag? He does get the second, so they've opened up the B site. Whilst he will go down, it will allow his teammates time to turn around and watch the vent, but Emag seemingly falling the victim of Moku there, not expecting that. Perhaps a little bit delayed with the communication. The bomb will go down. Maybe it won't go down. The bomb might go down, I should say. The bomb will go down. 2-on-2 situation, Jim. The retake must come in.
That's it. Momentarily delayed there. The bomb planter sniper picks up the first frag. Ricky with the second. And as quickly as it began, it's all over. Team Immunity, again, just streaking away. 10-1 the score. Legacy, this is fast spiraling out of control for them.
I think it's beyond that point. I think this is way past out of control. At 10-1 down, I mean, they don't even have the economy now to buy this round. Normally you see teams get really desperate at the end of halves and just force buying regardless, just to try and give themselves some chance, but this is almost certainly going to be 11-1. Haven't seen Legacy take a tactical pause at all tonight. Not in the close loss, not in this blowout loss so far. Maybe that's something they can look at for the future in terms of trying to halt the other team's momentum. Because at the moment, you can just see IM are doing absolutely anything they like. They can seemingly attack the A site or the B site at will. Moku puts up some form of resistance, but does go down, and Emag with the frag onto Raz as well to get a kill at A. And that will be the side of attack here if they do bust down.
And things, again, are over very, very quickly. Now, 11-1 the score. This is fast turning into a beating in potentially this match. Now, we saw Team Immunity do something similar to XL5 on Cobble. The question will be whether or not they can emulate that on their CT side. We saw their CT side is probably their most lackluster of all their sides. So there is still a little bit of hope yet for Team Legacy, but they're needing rounds and fast. Buster picks up the leg from Ricker there. It will maybe catch the grenade. Yes, does catch grenade damage there from Ricker. And again, just very aggressive early on in that mid. Happy to stake their claim as that flash comes through. Moku does take Ustilo. So the man advantage now temporarily going to Team Legacy. They're going to need to convert this though. They need to convert man advantages into round, which is something they haven't done yet.
I like that by Moku there to flash and really become the aggressor, catching one of the members of Ustilo off guard there. That's something you can only pull, or a nice little trick you can do once or twice though. Otherwise, Immunity will quickly become aware of the danger that the smoke does have. You can see Raz here well positioned, so they're very deep in both of the sites. Of course, Immunity not to know, but they've actually almost given up mid completely, Team Legacy that is. But Emag here, he will be leading the charge to what looks to be an eventual B-side attack, because the bomb in the hands of Ricker is slowly making its way there. So while Sniper tries to put up some sort of, I guess, show at A and try and grab a frag or two for himself, it will be the B-site that are put to the test. Ofnu, the in-game leader, does grab one, has the information that a second one's there, but I think he does eventually seal the deal, not long before James busts out of the vent to get the trade happening. But it's a 1-on-3 now for James. This is a round that Legacy must win. They've only got one on the board so far. They can't afford to be throwing away these sort of situations. We will see, I think, Buster stepping out from heaven. We'll get the information James is in the site. Does drop Raz, though. A little bit too aggressive to show his head there. And as they're funneling into the site, they're throwing their lives away. It's all left up to one member of the form of Moku, and he will go down. The 1-on-3 situation, make it a 1-on-4, actually, if we include the member in B main there. They've just thrown that away there. That is not a round you should be losing. Charging into the site. The bomb wasn't even planted, and James, he'll just be silently chuckling to himself at the manner in which they just won that round.
You really can't lose those sorts of 3v1 situations. I thought that was situation unwinnable there for James. They were just going to collapse on him in a timely manner. James obviously had other ideas, other plans as to what was going on, but again, early aggression there in mid, paying dividends. This time for Buster, able to buck a trend and actually pick up 2 frags, which is something we haven't seen from him at all. And still, he's persistent with this aggression, though.
He will, but it's all individual based at the moment for Legacy. I think they'll be really disheartened if they already weren't so off the back of last round's loss. I think they'll be all at the moment. I think the communication won't be flowing. I think Buster's probably taking that upon himself to push very aggressively in mid. Often here now pushing very aggressively at the B main on their own, but the sense of teamwork and coordination that we saw in Inferno, that's gone astray here. All 4 members of Legacy separated well apart, and despite having the man advantage 4-on-3, they're almost left to their own devices here. So as Immunity do collapse on the A site, they've almost got, I guess, the advantage in the sense that if they can make the frags very quickly, they'll have a clear passage onto the A bomb side here. You can see Sniper inching his way out the door. Will catch Mizzle off guard there. The very common spot at NBK, obviously, and 2 members now moving out of A main. Buster trying to help his team and will drop James there. It's actually Raz that gets the job done, but Ricky will take down Raz, and Buster now well aware of the threat of Ricky. 20 seconds left on the clock. He'll be mindful of the fact that not wanting to move in too fast like they did last round where they died before the bomb was even planted.
That's it, Ricky just drawing out Buster there with that fake plant. Smart move from Ricky. We'll get the plant down this time though, and we'll just go on a 1v1 here with Offnu. As they are going to make their way around the boxes. Offnu just holding the line. Content to do so. In the meantime, Ricky just pouncing around there, jumping around like a kangaroo, if you will. As, they are just going to play this very, very slowly. Offnu is going to hit the defuse and does know the position of Ricky. It doesn't matter anyway. Ricky, Tech 9 train, steamrolling around that corner and removing Offnu's head. And again, it's not looking likely for Team Legacy.
Well, this is just really a statement that they're making at the moment, isn't it now? This is them saying, look, when we're playing well, we can beat anyone in this competition, but even in these rounds in which they're up against it, 1-on-4 in James's case, 1-on-2 for Ricky, they're still able to claw out these victories. So this is really them saying, look out competition, we might have started off slow, but we plan on finishing fast. Buster does grab another 2 frags in mid. We saw that last round he did a similar sort of thing. It didn't lead to much in that context, but at least there's some promise here in this final round of the first half. Mochi there with a nice little double boost will catch Richter off guard as well. So things quickly going pear-shaped for Immunity. It's all left up to Emag now, and they will take the fight to him. He does get one before he does fall, but 13-2. What an impressive showing by Immunity here on the T side of Cache.
Yeah, there's very impressive showing there. Obviously 13-2, dominating Team Legacy. Now, I don't think I could place a more prominent premium on these pistols, because if Legacy are any chance of clawing their way back into this match, they're going to need this pistol. So,
well, they will. I think at the moment they were just waiting for the teams, of course, to change sides, just readying up. I think Legacy perhaps having a final word or two before they jump into this round. They know the importance of this pistol round, and I think it's going to be a very tough ask from here. One of the things I'm always very big on is, especially when you're down by such large margins, setting yourself small little goals to help your way back into the match, but you can only do that for so far. When you're already down 11 rounds, that's almost beyond manageable from a mental perspective. But we can see Emag here with the duelist. It's something he's actually done quite consistently throughout the competition on these CT rounds. So he's got into the vents, trying to use the close quarters that the vent does provide. Legacy, though, content to head very slowly towards A. We can see 4 members in A main. Buster there will throw a smoke out to block vision from the truck and potentially the highway as well, and follows it up with the flash. A will be put to the test here, but they are playing retake from an Immunity perspective. They've got 1 member position at the truck. Yustillo will be calling to his teammates that they have moved in towards the A side. They do have a kid in the hands of James as well, so should that bomb be planted as it is now, they are well established to try and, should they need to, get that defuse in. Moku there, nice little position there, does miss the first burst onto Ricky. It cost his teammate some HP, but does seal the deal. Emag now funneling, putting the Julies to good use, and they're really just making these frags when they shouldn't. It's down to a 1-on-2. Raz, trapped there at the quad box, will get the jump on the first. Knows that his position's known, but doesn't want to show too much skin. Steps out, sees Sniper jumping above his head. You need to look up, buddy. Oh. But maybe you don't. Sniper falls off the box into his crosshair, and how he walked away from that victorious, I will not know. Sniper only needed to look down at his feet.
Raz convinced that he actually hopped off the quad box. So just looking around the box for him, even though he was still sitting perched up high on the quad boxes there. Team Immunity will be disappointed there with that particular round. EMAG doing some damage with those dualies. Now, Legacy just going to make their way across the map, content to just feel things out. They're going to put a little bit of early pressure on this B site. The checkers there just being absolutely set alight. As now Mizu does manage to step on and find one of the members of Team Immunity. Will pursue EMAG to the ends of the earth to get that frag as well. But in the meantime, Sniper's made his way out onto the catwalk there, or heaven as it's called by some people. Not a bad anti-eco from Team Legacy.
Yeah, I love the way they actually threw those Molotovs there into the checkers, because you could see EMAG there. He could hear the gunfights, I should say, that were going down. And he was ever so desperate to be able to help out his teammates, but with the bed of fire that had been laid down in front of his eyes, he just had to keep waiting and almost biding his time until he could go and offer some sort of resistance. Did get 2 frags in the end, so that's worth noting, but great use of the Molotovs there really allowed the terrorist team of Legacy just to focus on one checkpoint or choke point at a time.
Yeah, in the meantime, EMAG made his way into the mid-con there. Buster, though, always cottoning onto what's going on. Offnu in the meantime, picking up 2 frags at that B site. Ustilo is under pressure here at A, having already picked up one at P90. And Grenade combining to do some decent damage. Not able to fell that second opponent. And Sniper now just sitting in mid. Has given up his position with that CZ. Getting a little bit of the aim punch there before doing a bit of damage to Raz. Forcing him to not take that fight anymore. And not force a 1v1 if he did lose it now. Or should I say a 1v3. Offnu there, just somehow still alive in this situation. Raz cleans things up though. Important rounds for Legacy. They need to start building some momentum if they're going to bring things back.
Yeah, I think this little bit of a comeback or fight back that we've seen from Legacy in the last few rounds is just that. It's going to be very little. I think Immunity will be very keen here to almost shut the door on Legacy. They'll be wanting to stamp their authority from the very first round here. Rickhead does have the AWP in his hands, so let's actually keep an eye on where he is positioned. We can see him moving towards the B site, so we said that they do like to mix up his position. That's one of the reasons why it's so hard to verse them. You never know what to expect at each of the different bomb sites. Legacy, very slow to start the round, so whilst there is Buster and a few of his teammates, they're holding him mid, they will now charge over the boost and try and take that territory. Great work by Mizu there. Fantastic movement onto the railing, looking above the smoke onto the Sniper and certainly catch him off guard. He wasn't expecting that sort of resistance there. As it is, they've now got control as to which site they'd like to go to. The bomb is an A main, so that's definitely my pick for which site it will be. And Motu on the Ninja there. Caught off guard by Rick here. Well aware of the threat, and EMAG putting up a fight in A main, catching them almost from behind. I think they were turning their back at another threat that was coming from behind them, but as it was, it's just given and gifted the opportunity for Immunity to put up a fortress there in A site. Offnu will back off, and a 1-on-2 has plenty of time to reposition himself, but Immunity equally is keen to shut him down, and that they do. Ricky gets the fight, takes the fight with the AK, finishes the job, and picks up that AWP for the next round.
Yeah, Offnu not able to come up trumps for his team there. The in-game leader unable to steady the ship, and 14-5 will be the score. Team Immunity placing a lot of pressure here on Legacy now. It is do or die for them. They need to force this round. They need to take it to them. That bomb will just sit up. They are going to set up a wall of smoke in mid though. What looks of things and take that fight there. Moku opening things up on A main, picking up Ustilo as he gets a little bit too aggressive. And now just going to stream their way onto this A site. EMAG is completely blind at the forklift. Does get picked up by Moku again. Moku just showing us he's capable of that heavy lifting there. As Ricket tries to square the ledger with an AWP frag there. Sniper just pushing his way up onto the highway. He's going to come face to face with Buster at some point in this site. Does get taken. Perhaps copying a little bit of a team flash there. In the meantime, Ricker has absolutely hightailed it. Made his way towards at B main. He will come face to face though with Offnu and does recognise that as well. Just backing off, not committing.
Yeah, they definitely trying to pounce. You can see all 4 surviving members of Legacy so keen and desperate to get the AWP out of his hands. He gets the first, can't quite get another one, but from an Immunity perspective, putting aside the fact that they're winning, they obviously love that. 14-6, they're thrilled, but what they're not thrilled about is this trend that's quickly emerging where they're not able to quickly put away their opponents when they're in such a position of strength. We've seen now that, of course, having won a round and lost a round, they now don't have to go on an economy round to try and build up that bank again to give them another shot at bringing those powerful weapons to Legacy. But this is what we've seen in previous nights. It took them a long time to put away XL5 on one map. It took Took them a long time to put away Trident, I think only a few nights beforehand. They'll be wanting to try and make a statement here, as they've done in the first half, by really shutting them down quickly. But you can see Legacy just making the frags, but James has actually picked up a double with the CZ there, so bit of a B-stack proving its worth. There are 3 members there, make it 2, so both Emag and James are positioned in B, and look at the position of the bomb. It's fallen down. It's glowing in front of their eyes now, like a prized little present at Christmas time. But Ofnu and Raz trying to recover that bomb, but more importantly, put out the threat that are Emag and James. Smokes are currently gifting them some peace of mind there that they don't have to worry about B-May, but not for long. Raz will drop James down to a 1-on-1. Needs this round to keep his team's chances alive, you have to feel. And we do see Raz, I think the GoTV might have just skipped, because all of a sudden Raz has just pulled out the old teleport. He's using the A side. We've just teleported into A. This is Star Trek, ladies and gentlemen, because the bomb will now be planted at A. The fastest rotation from B to A I think I've ever seen from a single player in a match. But in any case,
the old
Raz...
teleport bug.
Yes, he's teleported into the A site. Emag will be forced to retake. You can see that Raz has positioned himself in the back of the site there. His shadow will nearly give away his position there. Emag gets away by the skin of his teeth as he does get tagged. But crucially, Raz stepping around almost when he didn't need to. Gets taken down by Emag. Surprised to see Raz keep the AWP in his hands. He would have seen that he got the leg shot off onto Emag. I would have thought he would have put out the pistol, the faster firing gun. Easier at close range to seal the deal, but Emag up to the task. 15-6 despite the teleporting from Raz.
Yeah, for a moment there I thought we were actually commentating a Portal match. Now, obviously, match point, Team Immunity. They need to close this out, not only for their confidence, but obviously for just to send a message to the other teams that they mean business in Counter Pit. They might have been off to a slow start, but Team Immunity now definitely are looking the goods. So we'll see all 5 members of Team Legacy just sitting in that A main. You get the feeling something big's about to happen here as they're going to make their way onto this site. James opens things up with 2 crucial frags to that P90. In the meantime, things are all over. James picks up a quad kill with the P90 at the forklift. And that is curtains for Legacy in their second Counter Pit match.
Great display there by Immunity. I think Legacy are probably going to be a bit shocked at the moment. Certainly the first match